upset and ticked off I am at the system. And it's why, and I'm not kidding, I probably spent 3 or 4 hours after that hearing on the phone interviewing people, talking to them, like, what the hell happened?
And I mean, you know, I feel like nobody really gives a damn what happened. Anybody that I've had interaction with.
And I'm sorry for that. I can tell you, our office, you know, takes this sort of stuff very seriously. The fact that the charges are even brought, like the judge said, so many people, you know, there's so much work going around that we could have just turned a blind eye, and that wouldn't have been right.
I mean, even years after, Rusty, I mean, this is not the first time I've tried to get records or interacted with people. I've learned along the way to the point where just pushing. You know what I'm saying? Just, it doesn't matter what they answer. If I don't like it, ask somebody else. You know, nobody gives you the same answer. Nobody will put it in writing. It's like, this is not the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm not, unfortunately, I don't know exactly what you're saying. Are you talking about dealing with government officials in general, or are you talking about with the prosecutor's office?
With all of them, because I've been to that office before with my youngest sister. I mean, all the above. I mean, because I've always wanted to know what the hell happened, because, I mean, you know, they told me I couldn't press charges, and I wanted to know why. I wanted to understand. I still want to understand what the heck happened.
Yeah, and I do, and that's why I tell you that it'll make you go premature gray if you constantly worry about why.
Well, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to take steps to try to achieve what I want. I mean, that's, you know, all I can do. Until I've made every effort I can, it will worry me. So I have to try my best. And
no, that's right. Everybody's got to figure out how to deal with it. But I tell you, I also spend a lot of time doing handling murder cases. Now, I'll tell you what I told the victims in murder case. You know, well, nothing that I do in that courtroom, you know, whether we win, lose, or draw today in this trial, is going to bring back your loved one.
Yeah.
You know, just like today, and had we talked ahead of time, I would have told you this. Nothing that I'm going to do today is going to change what happened to you.
No, it's not.
And nothing I'm going to do. But I hope that you can look at today's accountability by your father is the first step of closure and recovery. Because when things are swept under the rug, now whether you feel this way or not, and you probably have it sometime and maybe not at others, until there has been an accountability in the courtroom, it's difficult for you to put it behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in the same way, I understand your two sisters, and I could be wrong, they were not supportive at all of this.
No. And they certainly won't be of my mother, but...
Well, no, and see, but what they don't understand, and it's probably because of the trauma that y'all been through, and then, again, this is just me talking from the prosecutor's perspective, but see, they don't understand they needed that too. They needed to see your father being held accountable. And hopefully, in time, they'll come to understand that. Because that probably has at least somewhere lost trust in a lot of different people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, frankly, we've never had anybody we can trust. I mean, you know.
And I meant it today because, look, I'm talking to you, and that's just because, you know, Mr. Garrett is out of town, which is why I ended up on the case at the last minute. And had we gone to trial, he was actually going to come back from vacation and try it because that's how much he cared about this case. I mean, the credit really is due him. You know, he is the guy that got us to the point that we got to. That and I know every word I said. That, you know, that's why I think the world of him. But, I mean, he made the right call with this. And I see why he did it. I mean, he knew that it was wrong, and he wanted to make it right.
You know, but see... I have a problem with accepting that for the fact that I delivered those exact papers to that office. And I mean, you know...
No, hold on a second. No, help me out there. You delivered those papers to our office. When did you do that?
If you want to know exact date, I can go through my notes and give it to you.
No, just give me ballpark. I'm just trying to figure out.
A year ago. A little bit over a year ago.
All right, so about July 08.
Yeah, I think it's like May, in between May and July. But I have it wrote down.
All right, and then we then arrested him about 6 months later, right?
In March of this year, I don't know how long.
Actually February. So what that tells me is that everything worked because, from what I understand, what Mr. Garrett did after he saw the papers, he contacted the sheriff's office. They launched an investigation in conjunction with our office. All the witnesses were tracked down.
Well, I met with Donnie Lowe a month after dropping them off at his office. And Donnie Lowe, who said he called Garrett up. And I sent Tom Garrett an email asking him what had changed.
Well, it's and again, look, I will say, hey, that's one thing. Tom is an incredibly busy person. When you need specific questions like that, by all means, call me. You know, they always say there's the personal, the face, and then there's the behind-the-scenes worker bee. I'm his behind-the-scenes worker bee, and I can just say that he meant nothing by not responding to you if that's the case, because I know you would not believe how many people call him in a given day, especially this past 10 days.
Well, I mean no harm, but if I'm going to be a witness, I would think somewhere along the line he could have made 2 seconds for me. I mean, that's just me.
Well, and I think we'll see. And you're right, and he should have, and he would have had we gone to trial. We generally don't spend a whole lot of time with witnesses unless we go to trial on a case. And the reason we don't is because we have, like right now, I think I have 250 cases. There's not enough hours in the day for me to meet with every witness. That's why we have a victim witness coordinator. So they spend the time dealing with the victim.
So when you don't have her, then what? Everything's just left to the side?
No. But we did go a period this year without a victim.
Because I talked to Annette Cox.
Oh, so that's right. You were originally with Annette. And there was a time in that, and that is our fault. It took us a little longer to hire somebody. So if in between the Annette and Patrice period, if there was some time that you weren't in contact, that is on us. And first of all, any time we didn't contact you, it's ultimately on us. But that's the period I certainly know that we did not have a victim witness director and should have been in better contact with you. But I mean, in a sense, that's done now because the case is resolved. And like I said, I just hope you see that from our perspective, we have to look at a case and say, look, there was some serious wrong done in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
and what is the just result? And in our mind, the way we evaluated this case, we got an old case, we got pretty good facts because of that letter, and people still being, at least some of those people still being alive, the DSS people. So that means we get those statements in, so we got a case we can win. So the next question becomes now, what do we do with all this information? Do we work it out to save you the trouble from having to testify against your father?